This review was voted by my patrons as December 2019 Patrons Pick. If you're interested in helping out for January or any future months, check out the link in the description.
Pokemon, Kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hello there, collectors. It's Steven, and I am back with a Nendoroid review for you, but this time it's going to be Nendoroid More. We're going to be taking a look at the Nendoroid More Kirby Robobot armor set, and this one is actually going to be of the more complete, the Robobot armor and Kirby set. So normally you can get the Robobot armor by itself that comes with headgear for Kirby, or you can get one that comes with another Kirby body and a new faceplate for Kirby, which is not available at standard retail release. And being me, I went ahead and just got the Robobot armor and Kirby set, so that's what we're going to be reviewing. So for today's video, this is going to be an interesting piece because this is a rather large figure, and it's a glorified accessory set. It is also relatively pricey, coming in at about 7,000 yen before we factor in anything like shipping, which it has a big box, and any sort of conversion or aftermarket prices. So with that in mind, and with it being a little while after release, is this thing still worth hunting down and picking up? And do you really need that extra Kirby faceplate? I would say, if you're really going to be a completionist, yes. So let's take a look to see whether or not the Robobot armor and Kirby is worth adding into your collection. Thinking about it a bit conceptually, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on here in terms of looks. It's just a robot that's got some yellow eyes, it's got some arms, it's got some legs, and it's just generally a theme of Kirby. Okay, not that big of a deal. Pretty simple. But if you take a closer look at the Robobot armor, you're really going to be seeing that there are some nicer details here, whether it's going to be the different shading for paint that's used for the eyes. We're going to have a mix and match of plastics that are actually going to have the same coloration, so this way the tone of the gold that's used specifically on the hands isn't really thrown out of whack. And then we do have the issue that there are translucent plastic parts that are used, so this way the arms and the legs are attached, quote unquote, to the main body, and it actually does not really break up the overall visual flow of the figure. That being said, I do have a couple of small hiccups quality control wise on mine, but hey, that may just be me because, as you know, I am a quality control issue magnet. But when we take a closer look, you'll see that realistically speaking, those issues are relatively small. Again, we'll start off with a closer look at those two main eyes on the Robobot armor, and you can see fantastic paint shading work done there. We have some decal work that is done on the face, if you will, of the Robobot armor. We do have those markings on the biceps, I guess you will, those decals. Those look pretty dang cool. We do have some seam lines and whatnot here and there on the figure, but that's going to be the nature of this sort of thing. It's not made of die cast. It's not perfect. They're going to be snapping together in some parts. We're going to have to live with that. There's not going to be any issue in terms of paint masking that I've found throughout the figure, so that is definitely good to see. If it's just going to be things like construction, realistically speaking, that is not an issue. Well, my biggest issue is going to be in terms of quality control is that on the thrusters on the back, those pipes, on one of them, it looks like there was a paint bubble that popped, unfortunately, and that took some of the paint with it. So that is a bit of a bummer. Now, taking a look at the cockpit, which I do actually believe that seat is a magnet to help hold Kirby in place, which is good thinking on Good Smile Company's part. We do see that, once again, there are no paint issues here, and even that little control area for Kirby looks great as well, and that's not going to be something you're really going to be looking at more often than not, so very neat to see there. Now, we're going to take a quick look at Kirby that is included here, and it's just going to be the same standard Kirby that we get for the normal release, except he's going to have that sort of angry, but like gonna get you a faceplate. I don't know how to describe that, but anyway, yep. Decals on that look fine. Nice sculpt for the mouth there. You know, it actually goes in, so it's not just something that they just stuck on like a sticker or whatnot, so very good to see. And then we do have that headgear that Kirby has, and not a single issue except for the gold paint could have been masked ever so slightly better, and that is only me literally reaching for something wrong to say about this. Yep, overall, the Robobot armor and Kirby both look great. Articulation time, and ooh, it's fun, a little frustrating, and I'm worried about the joints a little bit for the Robobot armor. For Kirby, it's nothing really new since it's the same Kirby figure, and we all know Kirby is
a ball of fucking magnets, yeah!
So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take Kirby out of the Robobot armor because, yeah, I mean, he's not going to really add anything to that. So what do we have? Well, obviously we're not going to have anything for the head except to, Kirby around. But for the arms, this is kind of where it's a little odd. So we are basically going to have a system of hinges here. We're going to have 2 hinges that allow you to move the arms up and down and give you some good movement. So we can move the arm like that. We can move the arm like that. Basically, we're going to have full movement there. But as you notice, if you have this figure, if you get the figure, things may start to loosen up and... oh. So what's going on here is that there's no real, I guess you might say, closed system for these hinges. What it basically is they slide on and off, which is really good in a way because it sort of prevents cracking. Kind of. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But it's kind of a pain because it just works on friction. So if they slightly come undone, then they become super loose and they don't hold a pose and you think, oh crap, it cracked. But if it's nice and connected like it should be, it'll hold a pose just fine, no issues there. Where that also does become an issue is that there are swivels so you can spin the arms around. Now, as you go to move those, you may be forcing and stressing those hinges that are there, okay? So look, as you go to turn, you may be putting pressure here in the joint, or if it's too tight of a connection, you may be putting too much pressure on areas where there doesn't need to be any pressure. And that may cause cracking, okay? And likewise, as you can see, there are pegs there. So that's cool. So yes, we are looking at the arms having double hinge and double swivel movement. So this way we can get the arms to basically go in any position we could want within reason for the sculpt. Okay. All right. Now these bits up here feel like they spin around like they're on a swivel, but I can't get them to move. If somebody else can, please comment down below. Let me know, let me know whatever there. For the wrists, it's going to be the same way. So they're not truly connected aside from just being together due to friction. So you can pop them apart. But yes, we're going to double swivels and a hinge. Now it looks like the hand opens and closes. Unfortunately, it does not. And we get swivel movement, it looks like anyway, for the thumb there. All right. All right. Let me put this back together. Now for the thrusters and whatnot on the back here, they swivel. They become loose, so just keep that in mind. They may pop out. That's okay. So you can put them in all sorts of combinations. All right, there we go. For the legs, we are going to have similar joints to the wrists here. So there are going to be swivels as they plug in and hinges so we can spin the legs around. And then we have ball jointed ankles. This one's okay. This one's a little loose on mine. But, it can sort of support the robot's weight, but I would definitely recommend the use of a support stand, which if you get this set with Kirby, you get 2 of. Now, why am I so paranoid in general about the use of the translucent parts? Well, it's not because of how they look. It's just because of experience with them. I did have the Ava Unit 01 Night Combat version Robot Spirits figure. I didn't have more than one of them. And there are translucent parts used on that figure, most specifically around the ankle joint. And that ankle joint, it is just translucent plastic and it's known to crack. If I grab any of my Tamashii stage support arms, I have plenty of them which have just simply cracked just from being used, okay? Translucent plastic has the tendency to do that. Considering this figure is starting to reach aftermarket prices, I don't feel like doling out for a replacement. And it's not just a matter of not being ham hands. It's just a matter of, if it happens, it's going to happen and it's not going to be my fault. It's just going to happen. So take good care of your Robobot and he'll take good care of you. So pose him neatly. Don't go too crazy and you'll be good. Magnets, yo. Magnets. But so yes, the Robobot armor does move relatively fine, but it is kind of frustrating if something is not connected correctly that it just goes limp as hell. But it works. Now, in regards to accessories, unfortunately, there really aren't any. If you're going to be getting the Robobot armor by itself, it does come with the bomber headgear for Kirby that you can use for your normal Kirby release, and it also comes with one stand, I'm going to assume, if it's just by itself, and two stands if you get the set that comes with Kirby. Otherwise, there are no accessories to speak of here. Now we're going to go ahead and move on over to a size comparison so you can see how big the Robobot armor with Kirby on the inside is. And as you can see, it is definitely a big boy. It's built at about 15 centimeters tall, and I would say, yeah, it does feel about that size. And it's definitely going to be a bit more girthy because it has such a wide stance. It's a very bulky figure, so make sure you make enough room on your shelf, respectively. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. I would like to reiterate here, there are two different versions of this release. One is just the Robobot armor that comes alongside the headgear for your Kirby figure to wear, if you would want to choose that. And then there's another version that comes with an entire Kirby figure, but the only faceplate that it comes with is the one that you've seen throughout this video, the one that sort of recreates the box artwork for the actual game. So that's pretty neat there. There will be a price difference between the two of them, and I would recommend going for the one with Kirby because, let's be honest, we can never have enough Kirby. And to give you an estimate on that price difference, $53.70 before tax for just the armor, and then we're looking at $72.22 in Japanese yen, of course, for the one that comes with Kirby. So for a little bit shy of 20 bucks, we're getting a whole nother Kirby. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. All in all, minimal quality control issues, and this is definitely going to be something that's going to be eye-catching on the shelf. The only issue I'm thinking in the long run are those translucent joints used for the arms and legs. Do be careful about those cracking. Otherwise, I have to say, yep, another solid release in the Nendoroid Kirby lineup. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, two big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.